Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be starting a series called the Non-Traditional Homemaker, and it's not going to be consistent. I'm going to post when I can regarding this topic, but with school and family life, we'll see how often a video comes out in this series. But I want to talk about the non-traditional homemaker, of which I consider myself one, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But first I'll share a little bit about my backstory. So, growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom with me and my siblings, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. As a teenager, that's probably my mid-teens when I really understood what homemaking was. The job of a homemaker. I started watching a YouTube channel called Farmhouse on Boone, and with Lisa, and I really enjoyed that, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to have a big family, and I want to be a homemaker and stay home with my family, with my children. And so that's what I wanted to do, and since then that's what I've wanted to do. I've done college since then and worked jobs, and I came back to what I originally wanted to do, was being a homemaker. However, I would consider myself a non-traditional homemaker, and I'll tell you why. I looked up on Google the definition of a homemaker, and I will share it with you. According to Google, a homemaker is a person, traditionally a spouse, who manages a household as their primary occupation, focusing on cooking, cleaning, child rearing, and maintenance. That's from Google. So let's break that down a little bit. What is a homemaker? One is they have to have a home to manage, right? Two, traditionally, it's somebody who is married. Three, it's their primary occupation. And four, they have children. And so that's what the traditional homemaker would look like. However, what if you've dreamed of being a homemaker your whole life, and just some of those things just aren't happening, they just aren't coming to fruition, and you're like, how can I be a homemaker if I don't fit into all of these categories? That's what I'm going to be sharing with you about today. How I've learned to be a non-traditional homemaker in what the Lord has blessed me with. So back in 2023, I got married to my husband Isaac, whom a lot of you know if you've been with me in this channel since I started. And so we got married in 2023. We had our own little apartment at the time, and I was doing all the things. I was doing the dishes, I was cleaning, I was decorating, I was making dinner, and I even started sourdough. And then when I got pregnant, I could not stand the smell of the sourdough, so that went out the window pretty quick. But I was living the homemaker life that I was hoping to live, even then non-traditionally, I suppose. But I was still able to practice some things, and I was slowly creeping into the homemaker lifestyle, if you will. And then, like I said, I got pregnant, so a lot of those things fell away. I was very sick during that pregnancy. It wasn't until I was 22 weeks along that I actually stopped throwing up. A lot of the homemaking, the cooking, went out the window because foods triggered me. The smell of doing the dirty dishes or the dirty laundry would trigger it. The sourdough, like I said, I had to throw that out. And so then obviously when the baby's born, that adds a whole new dynamic to homemaking and doing chores and cooking and all that, because now you have a little baby to take care of. Anyway, it's taken me this long to actually start getting my feet back on the ground. Also, since we've been married, we've lived, I think, a total of 5 different places. So we started off in our little apartment, and then we moved to my father-in-law's. He had owned an apartment building, so we moved over there. But while we were in between living there, about a week and a half or so, we were living with a friend, and then recently we've since moved from the apartment building that my father-in-law owned to my parents' house, and also for a few days in between that, we were staying at a friend's house. Now, in the next week or two, we'll be moving to my father-in-law's new house, where we'll be renting the second floor from him. So that's where I'm going to pick up to the non-traditional homemaker. So as you remember from our list, kind of the number one priority of being a homemaker, the number one qualification is that you have a home to manage, right? And so when we're constantly moving from home to home over the last few years, really that all happened in the last year actually, because we were at the little apartment for a while, and then in the last year we've made all the moves. You have to have a home to manage, and here's just a quick tip to anyone who needs to hear it, including myself. You cannot manage somebody else's home. You can't do it. Trust me, I've tried. It's not fair to the actual homeowner, and it's stressful for you. You cannot manage somebody else's home. So, how could we be homemakers if we don't have a home to manage, right? And we're hopping from place to place. So, I'm going to start there. So, some things that we've learned along the way, that I've learned, how you can be a homemaker still in that situation where you don't have your own home. This could apply to people like us, where we've lived with family, or if you are single and you're living at home with your parents, or if you share an apartment with friends, or if you're at a college dorm, anything like that, this could apply to you. So one way you can step into the non-traditional homemaker role is to manage your own belongings. If minimalism is important to you, you can manage your own stuff. You can't manage what everybody else has, but you can manage your own stuff. Get rid of what you don't want. Or food, if eating clean, healthy foods is important to you, you can shop for yourself. You can offer to cook for everybody, so then you can be in charge of what you're making. Obviously, you have control over what you're doing to take care of your space. And with your own stuff, you can clean and organize the way that you would like. So when you don't have your own home to manage, just start with your own stuff. That is the best that I can tell you, because that's where we are. Until we have our own home that we can manage ourselves, we can only manage what we have. So, number 2, a traditional homemaker is somebody who is married. So this is kind of tips to any of my single followers. One, and most importantly, is to pray for your future spouse. A lot of us would swipe that off to the side as not important, but it is so important to pray for your future spouse. After that, you have 2 categories. If you live with your parents, the tips that are listed earlier apply to you. Managing your own stuff. Maybe offer to do the dishes, or offer to do the cooking, anything like that. You can start working on those homemaking skills. Or if you do live on your own, start now. You can start your homemaking journey now. You can manage your whole apartment or your own house if you have one. And then it makes it so much easier when you can do it on your own, and then you know how to take care of a home. And then when the kids come into the picture, or when, the spouse comes into the picture and then the kids, then you already know how to cook and you already know how to clean, and it's just so much easier. So do not take for granted that time of singleness. It's so important because you can learn so much during that time. So those are kind of my 2 categories for if you're single. If you're living with parents, manage your own stuff. If you're living on your own, you can start now. Alright, so number 3 is their primary occupation. So I know a lot of people who are like, I really wish I could stay home with my kids. Some of it for financial issues, some of it for problems where the husband is unable to work, so then the wife does have to work. So there are so many different categories for this specific traditional homemaker perspective, is that it is their primary occupation. That's not possible for some people. For those of you who say it's because of finances, I highly encourage you to look at your budget, because at least for my family, we are a 1-income household. I do small stuff on the side. I think this past year I made like $1 off of my business. So there's that for you. I don't make hardly anything. So I encourage you to look at your budget. If homemaking is really important to you, you can ask yourselves, what things do we have to have? and what can we live without. And if you can get rid of all the things that you can live without, and then see how much you actually have to make. Also, childcare, if you're putting your children in childcare, if you take that price down, is that enough where your spouse brings in that much? Is that what your husband can afford? Because if so, then you can afford to stay home, and that would hopefully be an encouragement to you. However, if you are unable to stay home, and you know that, whether it's for the financial aspect or any other reason, there are some tips that I can provide for you to help you be able to step into the non-traditional homemaker role. When you get home, you can still cook from scratch dinner, and on the weekends and after work, you can still take care of your home and take care of your, if bread, that is the most important, I would say, is learn how to make bread. Because on the weekends, you can make fresh bread for your family. My family loves fresh bread, as you can see in this video. You can do these little things that help so that you can still be a homemaker in a sense, just not traditional. You still do work. And so when you come home, that's when you use your time to clean and cook. And don't forget to spend time with your children, because the impact that you have on their lives is also very important. And another tip for mom who has to have an outside job: when you come home, you can minimize the amount of things that you have to manage. So instead of being like, oh, it's so hard to manage what's in my house because I have so much stuff, you can get rid of it all. Minimize the amount of things that you have to manage, so when you come home, you can just cook dinner, and you can just do a quick tidy up of things, and then you can spend time with your children. So hopefully that's encouraging to the working mom. And number 4, traditionally they are child rearing. So this is tips to those who do not have children yet. 1, just as important as earlier when I was talking to the singles, praying for your future spouse, pray for your future children. And also, be diligent in caring for what you do have at this point. You may not have living little beings to take care of. This is absolutely the best time to practice your skills of cooking and cleaning and getting comfortable with all of that. So don't waste this time either. It's so very important. I really hope that these tips can encourage you to be able to step into that role of homemaker. Having a home, having a spouse, staying home full time, and having children, that's not doable for everybody at this point in time. But there are ways that you can step into being the non-traditional homemaker.